With those basics in mind, I'll show you with this next demo of how you can build a chart. Now, an important fact to keep in mind is that the canvas takes code in order to draw anything on the canvas. It takes a lot of JavaScript code, as we get into some of these samples you'll see, in order to draw lines and shapes and all kinds of visual elements. One of the techniques that you can use in order to shortcut all that code is to provide a background image for your canvas. So in this demonstration, I'm creating a chart up on the screen. Now, if I were to create the background for this chart, and then what I mean by the background is the grid and the numbers, the gradient that goes from gray to white within that grid, and the boundary, and all the labels down at the bottom with the months. If I were to do all that directly within the canvas, within JavaScript, I'd have many dozens, if not 100 lines of code in order to make that happen. But what I did instead was I opened up Photoshop and I created this background for my chart. And I probably did this in, 15 minutes. And now that I have that image, I can load that image into the canvas, and then I can draw on the canvas. And now I really have the best of both worlds, because I'm using Canvas for what it's good at, the pixel by pixel manipulation of images or drawing shapes on the screen. But I'm loading in a nice background image behind it so I can give it the nice look and feel that I want. So let's take a look at the code that makes this sample. So just like we've started off in the past, when the ready event happens, I'm doing get element by ID, getting my context. And then the first thing that I'm doing here is creating a dynamic image. Now, once I've created this image, this is the background image that I'll use for my canvas. And there's a couple things that I have to do here. First, I have to handle the event of when this image loads. Since I'm accessing another file, I'm making a separate request in order to get the image from the server. I can't really do anything until that image is loaded into the browser. So I need to set up this event handler to say, do X, Y, and Z once the image is loaded. And so I'll do that, but in order to load the image, I need to give it a source. So I set the image source to the chart background, and then once it's loaded, then I'll be able to do something interesting. To begin, the first thing that I'll do is go to the drawing context, and I'll say draw image. I'll pass in the instance of my background image and tell it that I want it placed at the X and Y coordinate of 0, 0. That way it places the background image directly at the top left-hand corner of the canvas. And then from there, all I need to do is to draw the segments within the chart. So I can say begin path. The first operation is to move to the very first point of the line. And from there, I can create a line to the next segment, a line to the next segment, all the way down until I've created all the segments within the chart. And then once everything is complete, I can say stroke, and the line will appear in the canvas. Now, the other stuff on the page is actually not much else. All I've done is declared a canvas on the page. Again, I've given it the fallback content in case the browser does not support Canvas. And that's about all it takes to create a chart using the Canvas element.